Tonight, the big match comes to you live from Stamford Bridge as Chelsea attempt to book their place with Europe's elite in the Champions League. Their third qualifying round, first leg against Skonto Riga, kicks off in just a couple of minutes. Hello, good evening. Manchester United and Arsenal are secure in the knowledge that their Champions League places are guaranteed. Chelsea, however, must earn the...
Are in the third qualifying round for the Champions League. For Chelsea's opponents tonight, the competition actually began back on July the 14th, the day before the Open. Gomez bulging with experience. Ferrer, Desailly, Petrescu, Deschamps, they've all played in European Cup finals, so is their manager, of course. Last season, Luca Vialli named an unchanged team on only 2 occasions, but tonight he sticks with the lineup which began the Premiership season so impressively here on Saturday.
Yes, it's a very, very fluid 4-4-2, particularly fluid on the left-hand side where Poya, at every opportunity, will try and split between the strikers and get into the goal-scoring positions.
Skonto Riga are the perennial champions of Latvia, and as such have visited the San Siro and the new camp in this competition just recently. Earlier this year, they sold striker Marian Pahars to Southampton, and number 9 Andres Rubins and leading scorer number 11 Michals Mielaps are being tipped to follow him west. All the officials are from Switzerland. Urs Meier is the man in charge. One disciplinary change from last season's Champions League. A player suspended now after receiving 3 yellow cards, not 2. Well, a year ago, Manchester United had to overcome the irritation of a qualifying round against Polish opponents. And look what happened to them. Just think of the agitation if Chelsea's Champions League ambitions were foiled at this early, tantalising stage. Poyet with the early touch on the edge of the penalty area, but the free kick has gone against Chris Sutton. Skonto Riga, who are Blues themselves in a change strip of all red this evening. And whilst it's Chelsea's first taste of the European Cup, they have played 26 European games since Glenn Hall's team qualified in 1994 after more than 20 years off the continental scene. They've won the Cup Winners' Cup and the Super Cup. They've reached 3 semi-finals in all. They've really got a taste for foreign competition. Lost narrowly in the semi-finals to Real Mallorca last season. And they've got an early problem here with Bladen is trying to get in behind them. One of the few Chelsea players making his debut in this competition tonight. Didier Deschamps, who knows it like the back of his hand. Here's Gianfranco Zola. Stafiev's clear. This is Mielaps, run off the ball though by Deschamps. Zola. This is Lasso. Desailly. Albert Ferrer. Who has Petrescu wide to his right. Instead fed in to Zola. Wise. Skonto have 11 men back behind the ball. Turned by Poyet. And the first save of the night, pretty comfortable for Alexander Kolinko.
Yeah, but I think we saw something that's going to happen a lot tonight. Poyet is down in the left-hand side of the side, but he's pulled into a midfield area for Lasso to make the ground up on that side. And you can see 2 goals on Saturday. He's full of beans. He's looking for goals. Who knows how far they might have gone last year, Chelsea, if he hadn't got injured.
Poyet missed 3 months of last season, 6 months of his first season with Chelsea. It's a nice touch though from Mielaps. Shot challenge from Frank Leboeuf. This is Lysans. A bit of space for Rubins on the near side, but Albert Ferrer managed to get across there and deny it. This is the main striker, Chaladze. There, the defender again. Ashley. Put away by Deschamps. And as far as Astafiev's. Ladyless. Relax back to Lysans. Stafievs. Ashvili didn't have control of the ball, but he was fouled by Deschamps.
Just having a look at him, Clive, there, Ashvili, number 7, man on the ball now. We understand he'll be the playmaker, but I've got a funny feeling that when they lose possession, he'll drop straight on and try and attach himself to Zola.
Well, he's lost Zola here. Sutton trying to find Zola. The man who came between them was Silagadze. Petrescu, Zola. Sutton didn't quite read him, he was a little static when the pass was played. Stafievs trying to feed Chaladze. A long way around Marcel Desailly though. Good chest control from Sutton. Deschamps. Zola. Deschamps was tumbled after the ball had gone. This is Wise. And now Zola. Into the path of Petrescu. Here's Poyet! Well, he'll be disappointed he didn't hit the target.
That is an absolute dolly. I mean, some slick build-up on the right-hand side. Perfect passing. When this was in flight, I thought, take your pick, either Chris Sutton or Poyet. He'll get 4 more chances like that, he'll tuck 3 of them away. That is that's a sitter.
Encouraging start for Chelsea, and particularly for Gustavo Poyet, who's had 2 sights of goal. A chance now for Bladelis to try and break beyond Lasso. Stafievs. Poyet. Deschamps. Dispossessed by Mulaps.
I don't think you'll be saying that too many times tonight. I wouldn't imagine Deschamps being caught in possession. He's one of the most aware players, the midfield players in Europe, I would guess.
Tereskines. Rubins. Tereskines is very big and game, the left back, charging forward. A rather diminutive figure of Dennis Wise comes across to note his progress. Zola to Deschamps, very much a central figure in the early stages for Chelsea. Now Lasso joining in. Chelsea picking up that fluency which they found against Sunderland. Sutton picking out Zola. A little isolated down in the corner. And he's lost out. It is a Skonto Riga throw. By Lasso for Wise. Kolenko had a pretty good view of that, but certainly the early indications are that it is just a matter of time for Chelsea here.
Yeah, they're playing a very open game as well, Skonto. I mean, they're not. Sometimes in a game like this, you expect the away side to come and play with lots of men behind the ball. They're not really doing that, whether they've got enough ability to match their ambition, but they are trying to get forward. They're trying to make things happen at the other end of the field.
That's the coach of the Skonto Riga team, Alexander Starkovs. Since he took charge in 1992, he has won 6 Latvian championships on the roll. Can't do much better than that, but only 3 double years in that period. Here's Poyet. Well, he is nominally Chelsea's left-sided midfield player, but that is just a starting position for him to go hunting for goals.
Yeah, he's big, powerful surges, and type of midfield player defenders hate to have coming against him because he's got the strength and the pace and the power, and as his goals record proves, he can tuck them away.
Sharp ball from Poyet. Tercera. Zola, on to Sutton. Here's Zola. Saved by Kolenko, and Sutton couldn't quite get there ahead of Silagadze. It is a corner. It was another chance for Chelsea. We've only had 8 minutes of play.
Yeah, some great interplay between the two Chelsea front players, Sutton and Zola. Understanding. Zola gets the first header, doesn't get picked up on Sutton's header. Defenders closing him down. Keeper parries. Unfortunately, Sutton couldn't quite make it.
Strong play by Chalatse against Deschamps, who was penalised. Just thinking back a year to that match that Manchester United played at this stage against LKS Łódź with the first leg at Old Trafford. They won 2-0 that night, and the second goal, Andy Cole's headed goal, didn't come until the last 10 minutes. And this on paper was as awkward an assignment for Chelsea, who haven't made a breakthrough as yet. We've threatened it on 2 or 3 occasions already. Tereskinas, Rubins. The away goal is a factor at this stage of the Champions League. And Chelsea obviously will want to guard against that. But for the moment, it's as much as Skonto Riga, their opponents, can do to cross the halfway line.
I think the important thing from Chelsea's point of view is to keep playing it the way they are, pushing it about, probing, trying each side of the field. They've had 3 or 4 attempts already. And then not go mad, just take the goals as they come. They'll come.
Graham Lasso, Chris Sutton. Wise put it in towards Lasso, who'd stayed forward. Goalkeeper Kolinko looks able enough. Left-footed kicker.
That's a Chelsea rarity, that. An aimless ball.
Gianluca Vialli lifted the European Cup in his last game before joining Chelsea for Juventus in 1996. They beat Ajax in Rome that night on penalties. Luca didn't take one. He says it was the greatest moment of his career so far. A playing career which is now officially over. Petrescu. That by Siligadze, but recovered by Sutton. Zola. Ambitious, looking for Lasso, but Chelsea are winning it back so quickly, and each time Skonto Riga clear the ball, it's just a brief respite. Rekviashvili and Lyzans, Stafievs, Rubins making the progress to his left, and there are 4 forward in this move. Called in towards Miolaps, and Lasso had to come across. Still a chance for Bladelis. And there is a little alarm call for Chelsea. Reminder, a chance falling to Imants Bladelis.
Yes,
real chance.
Glorious opportunity. Ball in from Rubins on this side. Bladelis pulls it down. He's very unlucky that he can't just stay over it, but at this level, if you're the away side, particularly an unfancied away side, those are chances that will come few and far between. Only just off. There is a possibility, you know, because with Poyet pulling in field, Lasso has to go on a little bit, and sometimes, once or twice in the early part of the game, there's been a little space there behind Lasso. Not that particular occasion, he was back, but I mean, his emphasis has been on trying to push forward, and just a little timely reminder, we've still got defensive responsibilities.
Petrescu. Poyet. Wise picking up the baton. Now Lasso is charging forward to the left-hand side. Petrescu is in the middle with Sutton. Lasso looking to get on the outside of Bladelis, who had that chance. Drills in the cross to the far post where Siligadze takes evasive action.
I think that represents a great opportunity for Chelsea, you know, when they get into the last third, when they're the last 18 yards of the field in wide areas, to produce quality, because Sutton and Poyet will give these defenders a right tasting in the air.
Wise hoisted in towards Poyet. Kolinko just helps it on his way as far as Lasso. It might come here for Gianfranco Zola.
And certainly the early signs of Kalinko, the goalkeeper, are that anything in the air, he's not too inclined to catch. He's flapped at a couple already.
He is the current Latvian #1, but then this Skonto Riga team are so dominant in their home country. They do provide most of the national team, which has a chance of qualifying for the European Championship finals next year. Zemlinskis showed too much of that to Petrescu and just got away with it. Stafiev's given the ball to Petrescu. And now Zola into the path of Sutton, who's offside.
Yeah, that'll be touch and go. Sutton timed his run, I think. He may, if he's off, he's only marginally off. There's the movement, he starts his run now, he's off. Good decision.
Probably the main indicator of the improvement in Latvian football has been this year's Euro 2000 qualifiers. Victories in both Norway and Greece have given the national side a sporting chance, just about as good a chance as England, shall we say, who Latvia may yet meet in a November playoff. They're just behind Slovenia in third place in that group. Stafiev's here is the current national captain as well as the Skonto captain. Interesting quarter of an hour. Chelsea dominant, but Skonto Riga have had one good side of goal. Tereskinas with a throw in towards Chaladze. Clearance is by Ferrer. Falls for Zola. Made space for himself very cleverly. Wise. Able to feed Poyet. This is Bladelis. Rekviashvili. Now Tereskinas, who's the captain of the Lithuanian national team. There are a couple of Georgians in the Skonto Riga team too. Sutton was outnumbered. Rubins has found Tereskinas. Now Stafiev's. Shaw just managed to nick the ball away from Petrescu, has found Wise. Poyet, Leboeuf joining in. A little bit too much.
Yeah, wanted some width on the right-hand side. Petrescu didn't offer him too much there.
Poyet. Just lifted the ball over the head of Franco Zola. Wilkins, who stepped into the breach at the end of March. Never played any European football for Chelsea, but he was a Cup Winners' Cup semi-finalist with Manchester United and Ron Atkinson once upon a time. Milas. That by Desai. Deschamps. Sutton just vacated that space.
Just gone a little bit messy, hasn't it? Oh, that's brilliant. That is Deschamps, world class. But he'll do the ugly things and do them ever so well.
Poyet. Nothing very ugly about him at the moment. He's a player who's oozing style and an appetite to score goals.
I mean, there's Deschamps, robbed the ball, puts the ball onto Sutton's chest. Just can't get over it. Not the easiest ball to crack home, but when you're confident like he is, you'll always have a pop.
I think he had a more difficult chance down at that end against Sunderland on Saturday and buried it. Here's Poyet again, just ran away from him to Rekviashvili. Chaladze. Tereskinas. Rubins. Throw-in has gone Chelsea's way. This is Rubins. Shot was a little optimistic in the end, but it's come back here for Astafievs. And Desai made a blocking challenge there.
There's a little bit of a nuisance, the number 21, the skipper Astafievs. He's playing in that position behind the Wise and Deschamps. Just a little bit short from the central defenders to come and pick up. Certainly he's the one that likes to support the front players.
Petrescu. Space for Deschamps. So has Poyet wide of him for once. Here is Gus Poyet in towards Zola. It might come for Sutton. Jumped away as far as Didier Deschamps. Good blocking challenge by that man Astafievs. Desai. Tercera. Sutton's header. The 4 for Wise. Well, there are other options there for Dennis Wise, and it's a rather impulsive volley. Just couldn't say no.
Yeah, but I think that's a tactic very often Chelsea should use a lot more. That's to put balls in early on diagonals, particularly from the right-hand side, Ferrer and Petrescu, because you know Sutton's got the beating of the defenders. You also know that Poyet is coming in behind.
It's not an option they've really had since Pierluigi Casiraghi was injured in the early weeks of last season, because for his height, Torre-Andre Flo probably wouldn't count heading amongst his best assets.
No, he likes to get the ball and run with it, doesn't he? But Sutton can deal with anybody up top.
This is Astafievs. Oh, it's a good ball too. And Rubins has got in behind Chelsea. It's 2 against 2 in the middle. And Rubins goes for glory at the near post. And De Hoy had to make a useful save. The 2 supporting players, Leidelis and Shaladze, may be a little disappointed. Crossed by Tereshkinas, headed away by Ferrer. Poyet.
Another warning sign though for Chelsea, that. Given the opportunity, they're not the world's worst, Skonto Riga. They can play a bit.
Sutton to Wise. Petrescu. It's come back for Dan Petrescu off a Skonto Riga player. Forced off Petrescu by Zemlinskis for a goal kick in the referee's opinion.
Gets the luckiest 1-2 ever. There's a go. That's actually has, for my money, come off Petrescu's chest.
This is the chance that Mielaps had at the other end.
Yeah, this is a great ball inside from the skipper. Mielaps cuts in. Hasn't got much to go at, but at least there's the danger zone there. Wonder if he'd have tried taking it with his left foot and scalping it across the box.
Scored 5 goals in the first qualifying round match against Jeunesse Desch of Luxembourg. Skonto Riga have scored goals in the competition so far, 15 in their 4 matches up to this point. They've stepped up a class here tonight.
I suppose one thing in the favour is that, Clive, they've had more competitive games. They've been playing competitive football for a little while now.
Yes, their season's April to November. They have a free kick here too. Shaladze is the victim. Leidelis. Skonto Riga have safely negotiated the first quarter of the first leg. Wise though looking for Sutton. Poyet. So
Everybody back behind the ball now. They've all pulled into defensive positions, but
here goes Leboeuf. Jabbed into Sutton. Didn't really get hold of it.
good work from the big Frenchman though, Leboeuf. Saw an alternative. They're going to give him. They think he's kicked the keeper as he's gone past him. Here I thought he's shaping up for a shot. Fires it in a Sutton. Hard to control. This is what they're talking about now. Did Leboeuf have a little stab at him? He did. Whether he actually caught him a little bit, but he did appear to have a stab at him, Clive, didn't he?
Well, that was intentional. It was a kind of indiscipline which invariably lands you in trouble in European competition. And funny enough, Chelsea are having to learn one or two lessons about this level of competition here tonight. Not to get too carried away with their early dominance. They have conceded a couple of chances now, and they haven't made their general supremacy pay, and maybe one or two frayed edges starting to show. Chalazza to Astafievs. I think it was a shot.
Yeah, sure was. But I think the way he's starting to get a control of the ball a little bit, Astafievs, I think there's a feeling that Chelsea may have to detail somebody to take him at it.
Gustavo Poyet. Gianfranco Zola. Got a cross in. Petrescu's in the middle. Might fall for Dennis Wise. Well, that was a good opportunity. Wasn't exactly fashioned in the way that it was intended, but it fell kindly for Wise.
Yeah, I still feel this is the best way of scoring against these, you know, tonight. Throwing the ball across in the last third. And unlucky for Dennis Wise then. I wouldn't count that as a miss. An opportunity, yes, but watch the defender throw himself at it. That's very good defending. It just puts Wise off enough.
Just clip the outside of the post. Deschamps. Sutton. Very orderly player, Deschamps, isn't he? Lasso. Head off Weisers. This is Wise again. Now Ferrer.
It's got to be better and deeper than that. Ferrer had time and space to play a much better ball than that.
Deschamps. A bit of anxiety creeping into the play of one or two Chelsea players, but not Deschamps. This is Zola. Burst of pace running the free kick on the edge of the penalty area. First touch wasn't bad either, was it? Rekviashvili brought him down.
I wonder if he'll pay for that. Leboeuf can bang them, but you'd have to believe in a European match, chasing the game, that the little fella's going to try one of his cunning, swerving, dipping shots.
Give them a big build-up, Ron. He has a fantastic record from dead ball kicks. Gianfranco Zola for Chelsea. He's on target. Clash between Dennis Wise and the goalkeeper. Referee happy for play to continue. Leboeuf has now been penalised.
Yeah, next one's going to be a booking, I'm sure. Ref's being quite lenient.
Astafievs.
He's growing and growing in the game, Astafievs.
Move into Mielaps. De Hoy was just a yard or so off his post.
I don't believe he nominated that as a shot. I'm sure he's just trying to whip that into the box. He'd have claimed it though, wouldn't he, if he'd gone in? Of course, the inevitable happens. I mean, Skonto, the longer they go, the more they get the feel of the game. They'll start to get confidence.
Sutton was looking for his marker, and Silagadze picked his pocket. Rekviashvili to Astafievs. Laid Middleis. Chaladze, tackled by Desai. Here comes Poyet, 3 ahead of him. One of them, Petrescu here. Zola to his right, Sutton to his left. Trying to play Zola in. Sutton is there. Chris Sutton. Charged down though by Silagazza, only away as far as Petrescu. It's Zola. Deflection was off Zemlinski's. It's a 1-2 for Zola, and Sutton's there at the near post. Goalkeeper made a fullback challenge. Petrescu, Poyet. Oh, somehow the goalkeeper kept it out. Instinctive save, knocked it down, and it bounced up and over the bar, and Chelsea had to make do with a corner.
Some unbelievable goalmouth play here. Look at that, you can't believe that's not going to go in. Great save. But just prior to that, when Sutton had it trying to force a goal, if only he'd have seen Poyet was virtually screaming for a little layback.
Almost half an hour gone. No breakthrough yet for Chelsea. Wide short to Petrescu. In towards Sutton, came off his head. Kolinko was struggling again that time. Lysands. Desai making it difficult for him. Deschamps trying to win it from Lasso. Chance instead though for a Skonto Riga break. Middleis couldn't quite play the ball that was needed, but Leboeuf has given it away to Mirlaps, and now Rubin's coming forward. It's a very open game, probably a little bit too open for Chelsea's liking of the truth told. Chaladze though tackled well by Desai. Ferrer running into trouble.
You know, if the Latvians had any sort of apprehension at the start, they're not showing it now. They're playing with some right fire in the belly now. I mean, that save signified it. I mean, the keeper's been dead iffy on some crosses, but tell you what, that was a magnificent reaction save. That's when everybody's pumped up and the adrenaline's flowing. Certainly a far more even game than I would have expected.
It's worth recording that these players have played in both the Nou Camp and the San Siro Stadia. Is Sutton with a header, goalkeeper stranded in the last 2 seasons, so 20-odd thousand inside Stamford Bridge. Whilst they're making a noise, it's not as intimidating an atmosphere as they have faced, and they're making themselves at home now.
I'm just wondering on that last header, you know, whether Chris Sutton was aware where the keeper was. He looks as if he tried to drop the header off to Zola, when if he'd have just lifted it, the keeper could not have got back at it.
But a game which had an air of a formality on paper prior to kick-off, which started as if Chelsea could win it with some confidence and style.
This is some
Still
save.
goalless.
This is some save.
Alexander Kolinko.
I mean, and the luck's gone with him. On any other day that hits him, he makes the save, but he parries it into the net. And you just wonder, you know, when you see like 1 or 2 of the opportunities Poyet possibly should have put away, certainly should have put away the header. You know, you've often seen it with the unfancied side starts to grow.
Ferrer to Petrescu. Corner kick.
What we certainly haven't got the sterile game we might have expected. You know, anybody thinking, and I certainly would be one of those, that it's going to be a one-way sort of romp, if you like. We're getting quite an exciting contest now.
Both Desai and Leboeuf are forward. Leboeuf is on the near post and has taken a tumble inside the box. Now, I think he was held by Tercera. So what's the referee's reading of that? It's a red card for Tercera, the fullback, presumably a penalty to follow. The referee was over on the far side of the penalty area. He must have had a good view of it. I think Tercera's tried to hold Leboeuf. My first feelings were that Leboeuf went down in a bit of a heap. So the near post. Oh, he had a kick at him.
Kicked him.
And the referee did have a good view, didn't he?
That was the view we had. We had the referee's view there, didn't we? I mean, what stupidity. They've battled for their lives. They've got themselves into a great position, or a very healthy position, Now all of a sudden he's put them right up against the wall.
Now Dennis Wise wants to take a corner here. Surely it's got to be a penalty, isn't it? Well, I suppose the ball is dead.
But the referee, the decision's already been given, hasn't it, to take a corner?
Okay. Wise takes the corner. Kalinko takes the ball. Skonto Riga are down to 10 men. It's the left back who's been sent off, so that's where they've got to reorganise. And that's what the coach is trying to do. Rekviashvili, who's been the anchor man in midfield, has gone to left back.
Yeah, he doesn't give you the impression that he's the left side, flank defender, does he? He looks an out-and-out central midfield player.
Yeah, they're going to bring a specialist left back on now. So, Poyet, Zola, now Petrescu, Ferrer, in towards Sutton, just leave it off the ball by Silakadze. The substitute is Alex Blagonadestins, who is specialist left back. I think they're going to have to take a striker off in order to replace their red card victim, Tereshkinas.
Yeah, that'll be a blow for the coach, because his front players have looked reasonably bright when they've got forward, and as you say, it looks a certainty that one of them's got to come off.
Ferrer, Petrescu, Deschamps. Something just leave it off the ball by Astafiev. It's Rekviashvili who makes the clearance. Leboeuf, Deschamps. Now the so. Desai is venturing forward here, but cross came too early for him. Zemlinski's heading clear. Chaladze on towards Leidelis, who is all alone in a red shirt in the Chelsea half. Poyet. Wise. Ferrer. A bit of space for Petrescu. Turned cleverly. It's down Petrescu. Well, he delayed, trying to make the right angle for the shot, which in the end didn't carry a great deal of power.
I mean, that's one of Dan Petrescu's strength. A lovely ball threaded into him, turns beautifully, takes it, can't quite shape up, takes it another one, and yet, like a lot of the Chelsea shots tonight, they've gone in tamely. There's been very few. The one Poyet hit that the keeper's made the save, is probably the only one that's had any real zip about it.
Zola, tackled by Rekviashvili. Rubins, held up by Wise. Gets it back from Ferrer. Now Petrescu. Guided in towards Sutton. Poyet was in the middle too. Came off light zones. There's Poyet. Here's Sutton. There was no flag. Well, he had a couple of really good opportunities which he spurned on Saturday. That was another.
Yeah, this is a better ball in. That's right into the danger. At first you thought, should somebody be attacking that? They've got the look of the bounce. Yeah, he wasn't offside. Can't quite connect. Another opportunity goes begging.
Wise. A bit loose. 7 minutes of the first half remaining, which Chelsea have dominated. They have conceded one particularly good chance to Skonto Riga. made 2 or 3 excellent openings of their own. Ferrer. They are now a man up. Skonto Riga's left back Tercera sent off after 33 minutes of this game for kicking LeBeuf. Astafiev, useful ball. Chaladze. Oh, his first touch just let him down and it ran away and gave Marcel Desailly a chance to catch up, but it was a lovely ball from the skipper Astafiev.
Beautiful ball in, but Desailly was absolutely sleeping. I know he's got great recovery powers, as he showed there, but that's, as you said, there's got to be a lesson. They've got to still be disciplined at the back.
Petrescu. He's also going at it almost as if we were in the last 6 minutes of the game, not the last 6 minutes of the first half. They have got a lot of time yet to make home advantage pay tonight. Lasso, though. Lasso's been penalised for following through on Levan Silagazze. And now the change will be made, and Chaladze, who just had that excellent opportunity to score a moment ago, is going to be sacrificed so that Skonto Riga can bring on an out-and-out left-back to replace the sent-off Tereskinas. There goes the Georgian Chaladze. Off comes Oleg's Blago-Nardestinis. It's a bit like Didier Deschamps, isn't it? Wise. Petrescu. Zola trying to get in behind the substitute who he skinned. Pull back. Deschamps! Somehow blocked. Poyet. Wise. Charged down by Rekviashvili. There was a big handball shout too against the defender who blocked the Deschamps shot in the first place. Ferrer. Too long for Poyet. Cleared by Lysans. It just won't happen for Chelsea, and dark thoughts start to creep into the back of your mind on nights like this. Ferrer. Zola. Oh, brilliant turn again by Gianfranco Zola. And he's got past Zemlinski's. Trying to tee it up for Sutton. Cleared by Lysans. Here they come again. Wise. Lasso. Poyet. Dennis Wise. Held by the goalkeeper Kolinko.
Yeah, that's not quite the angle I would expect them to put the crosses in. I would expect them to try and work the ball higher up the field, much to the 18-yard line in wide position, then stick them in. I wonder whether Vialli might switch and go to 3 at the back, you know, and say to Lasso up on that side, just go and play as an out-and-out left winger. That's where the space is. We're a man over. Go and utilise it.
Just got to find that balance, have they, between making the most of their extra man, making the most of their home advantage, making the most of their overall supremacy, and not doing anything too silly.
I think what's happened as well, you know, I think Skonto, they've been pushed back, and invariably they're still back when Chelsea attack again, so they've always got people in numbers, they've always got numbers in the box. I mean, that last little incident of Zola's, I mean, some superb play, but there's still a million red shirts in the box. And one thing you know, no matter if they try to play possession at the back, Skonto now are not going to come out and try and chase the ball. Going to sit in the positions, try and frustrate Chelsea, and hopefully expect one of the 2 front players to produce something.
Last 3 minutes of the first half, still 0-0. Chelsea have a free kick. Wise. Ferrer. Wise using LeBeuf. Cleared by Astafievs. Lysans to Bladelis. Only mere laps down the field. LeBeuf taking a gamble and winning the ball, and Poyet has found Zola. Zola cut back towards Sutton. Might still come for Poyet, who miscues.
But just look at the penalty box now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red defenders still there. And it's one of those, again, beautiful piece of skill, cuts it back, just doesn't link up with one of the strikers, and when that comes back to Poyo, another day he hammers that straight into the roof of the net.
Zola's been really hot in the last 5 minutes or so. But a mistake by Deschamps, giving Mirlaps a chance to stretch his legs. He does have support from Rekviashvili, but it's cut out comfortably by Leboeuf. Now Poyet. Zola.
See, Lasso can virtually, should be running wide of him there, Lasso. He can virtually play as a winger now.
Wise, in towards Zola again! Oh.
You know, you never know, is it one of those nights? Some superb link-up play this particular occasion. Zola feeds it off, goes for the second ball, and you think for all the world now his touch will go around the keeper and leave him with an empty net. Just in his run, 9 times out of 10, you know, that will go to the side of the keeper, and he's got to tap in.
It was as Kolenko, the goalkeeper, had seen the film before and knew where to stand, and he was very fortunate. Ferrer. Last of the 45 minutes.
I tell you what I would be saying if I was Vialli, though. I'd certainly be having a word with Frank Leboeuf and saying, all right, that's fine, all the creative stuff. You and Desai make sure the back door's shut.
All won by Deschamps for the 18th time tonight. This is Petrescu. Here's Leboeuf joining in again. Deschamps bypasses him and finds Lasso. In towards Sutton, trying to hold it up from Sila-Gatsa. Vialli has got to choose his words very carefully.
I think he could also change his tactics slightly, his formation, not his tactics, not his formation, and go with a rigid 3 without changing the personnel. Just say to Ferrer, go closer in than the 2 centre-backs. Petrescu drags wide on the right-hand side, and the fella on the ball, Lasso, plays up alongside. This fella on the ball goes where he's most effective, in the middle.
It's not something that a Vialli Chelsea does very often, though. So he likes his back 4. It's a little bit too strong for Petrescu.
No, but sometimes, you know, Clive, they're a man over, and it's how you take advantage of that.
Just completed the first of 2 added scheduled minutes at the end of this first half. Offside against Mirlaps. Free kick to Chelsea. The real mystery of the half is the fact that we're still goalless. Either side could have scored. Chelsea certainly had the better and the greater number of opportunities. It's been quite an open, loose sort of a match. Quite exciting for that.
It has actually. Far more exciting than probably we anticipated.
Poyet. Deschamps. Petrescu. Looking for Ferrer to make an overlapping run. Deschamps. Desai is tiptoed forward here into the box. Deschamps again. Ferrer. Dennis Wise turning. Header away by Rekviashvili, and Skonto have successfully got to the bell at the halfway stage. They've lost a man en route. Tercera sent off, but Chelsea have been unable to get past that man Kolenko, and somehow at half-time they find themselves going in with this half-time scoreline. Chelsea 0, Skonto 0. We'll be back with Bob Wilson and Barry Venison in just a moment.
For Rangers here in West London, Chelsea are 0-0.
Ends Skonto interest in this competition the last 2 years. Inter Milan beat them at this stage last season, Barcelona the year before. So they have been in vaunted company, even if they haven't managed to overcome a team of Chelsea's calibre. Probably their biggest European scalp to date was Aberdeen 5 years ago. Zola got a knock on the head there from the substitute.
No, Clive,
Desdines.
you know, Clive, they've got 1 or 2 very talented front players by the look of it. It would suit Chelsea if some of those players were encouraged to come forward a little bit. Still, the problem's going to be when they sit in the back and wait for them and make it very difficult. This is an area I think they've got to produce them.
So, head away by Rekbiashvili. It's run away from Mustafievs. Deschamps. Petrescu has managed to force the ball into the path of Poyet. Now Albert Ferrer. Too long though for Sutton this time. Offside. There are 4 Premiership matches taking place this evening. I can tell you that at Villa Park it's Aston Villa 2, Everton 0. Goals from Julian Joachim and Dion Dublin, and John Collins has been sent off in that match for Everton. At Filbert Street, Leicester City 1, Coventry City 0, a penalty from Muzzy Izzet. At Old Trafford at an 8 o'clock kick-off, Manchester United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Paul Scholes and Dwight York, the goal scorers there. Zola, who had a really good spell just before half-time, but Wise giving the ball away. And in the remaining match in the Premiership tonight at the Dell, it's Southampton 0, Leeds 2. 2 goals from Bridges there, new signing, and another new signing on the way from Leeds with Darren Huckabee on the way to Ellen Road from Coventry. More highlights from Ibrox at the end of tonight's events here at Stamford Bridge. It is the only one of those feature games without a goal so far. Goodness only knows how.
I don't think there's a question as well, Nino Clyde. Now, this fella on the ball again, so has been asked to play virtually against the touchline.
Zola let it run. Sutton feeds him. Here's Zola again. He actually got across. It's a corner kick. Leboeuf and Desai are on the way forward.
Any sort of goal. We tend to think of Chelsea as the classic football team. They could do with anything. A scramble, a nick on, an own goal if possible.
Wise in towards Poyet. He was being impeded by Blago Nadesdins, but he managed to shake off his attentions and direct a header goalwards.
On another day, you know, that would have fallen down to a blue shirt. You just wonder, you have that feeling. And you've had it ever since, you know, after the first 15-20 minutes. Is this going to be one of those upsets?
A bit of nail biting going on by the manager.
And we heard Ray say there, didn't he? You know, that's the old European mentality, if you like. Whatever you do, you don't concede a goal. Which, you know, people may find a little bit strange when you're expecting to win the game easy, but it makes it doubly difficult if they do nick away and score a goal.
Wise. This is Rubins. Ferrer caught up with him. Now Petrescu. Zola. Pass was delayed and Zimakazi was able to get to him. Skonto Riga did draw in Moscow with Dinamo in last year's UEFA Cup. They beat a Spanish side, Valladolid, in Riga the season before in that consolation competition, and whoever is beaten in this tie does go into the UEFA Cup. Would be very meagre consolation for Chelsea in the circumstances. But it's just a measure of a relatively new nation in footballing terms in Europe growing up. And they've grown up a little bit again tonight here. Latvia was an independent nation between the wars, but only since 1991 have they regained position on the map since the breakup of the old Soviet Union, sitting on the Baltic Sea just opposite Stockholm. Dennis White. Desai got forward, Zola won it in the air. so. Sutton unable to direct the ball back into the path of his former Blackburn Rovers colleague. They played Champions League football together for Blackburn. Here's Lasso again. Zemlinskis with the challenge.
They've been very dogged and determined at the back, haven't they, Skonto?
Wise. Angled in towards Sutton, beat to it in the air by Silagadze. This is Lasso. Held up though and tackled by Bledelis. Deschamps has got it back. Plenty of options on the substitutes bench for Chelsea tonight, including Tore Andre Flo. There are 7 nominated substitutes, of which Chelsea can use 3. Young Mikel Forsell there. Yes, Berg, new signing from Fenerbahce, the Dane. He's not figuring tonight, and neither's he, although they both look fit enough to.
Looking on that bench now, it's a pity. I mean, they haven't got a real dribbler, a wide player that can take people on in the last third.
Maybe Celestine Babayaro could fit that bill. Here's Wise. By Rekviashvili, now Mirlaps.
And Goldbeck's a lovely crosser when he goes in wide areas, but probably more effective on the right-hand side, where they've got Petrescu, they've got Ferrer, so they've got players that should be able to produce from that side of the field.
Poyet. Zomer pulled out to that left-hand side, but Lysans was in the way. Throw into Chelsea. Tonight's attendance is just over 22,000. It's a larger crowd than came here for the opening 2 Cup Winners' Cup ties of last season. I think a few Chelsea fans are still in Marbella and points south of here. Cheers because Tore Andre Flo started his warm-up. Poyet out to Lasso on that touchline. Ooh, and the goalkeeper didn't know a great deal about that, but then neither did anybody else in his vicinity.
Yeah, that's a good vicious whipped-in ball from the right area in the last third of the pitch, curling it in behind the defenders. As you say, the goalkeeper's had a hell of a problem.
But happy with that, but only because Silagadze was holding off Sutton. Luca Vialli did say in a press conference yesterday that he considered Tore Andre Flo to be the best player in the world coming off the substitutes bench. It's a kind of a compliment, I suppose, to a player who would dearly love to be in the starting lineup. Corner kick. Almost 10 minutes of the second half played. Same story as the first half. Pressure, no goals. Wise in towards Leboeuf. It came off Rekviashvili for another corner. It could have gone into his own goal. They've had a lot of escapes and all manner of escapes. Chelsea are dominant in most attacking aspects of the game. Wise towards the head of Poyet, but the goalkeeper dealt with that capably enough. How many tackles has Deschamps made tonight? Wise didn't see Rekviashvili. He's looking to Deschamps for a shout. Rubins. he hit that against Rubens. It needed a spectacular finish from Wise. Rekviashvili trying his luck from long range. Just little moments of lapses in concentration have betrayed Chelsea at times in their own half. Someone's getting a pretty rough ride from Silagadze.
Yeah, he's man-to-man marking him. Zemlinski's just dropping off behind him, and you know, it's a battle, and rightly so. That's what he gets paid for. He gets paid to get involved in. He's the cutting edge. He's the competitor up front.
Berth trying to let the ball bounce and trying almost to let Mia lapse in, it seemed.
You know, you get the distinct impression that the Chelsea defence has come not prepared to do any defending, not expecting to have to do any, and they can't really shake themselves out of that sort of mode.
Sutton held it up well then. Poyet. Lasso. Wise. This is Ferrer. Crossed in by Petrescu. Came off the head of Zemlinskis. Sutton trying to hold off Silagadze. Trying to set the ball up, but Silagadze has stuck to Sutton like the moon to the sun today. Desai to Poyet. So to Zola. It's towards Sutton again, and it's Silagadze who's up in front of him. It is a corner.
Yeah, that's good defending. Although he didn't get a clear head on it, Silagadze, at least he prevented Sutton. I thought that's the sort of ball that would favour Sutton. Silagadze prevented him from getting a good knock on the ball there.
Time and time again he's done that. He's been in his line of totality. Wise takes in towards Desai. Ooh, big handball shot against Bladelis, which he survived. Referee was on the other side of him. Bounced up awkwardly in front of Bladelis. Referee was on this side behind Bladelis. Came off his thigh and hit his arm, didn't it? There's a problem with one of the Skonto Riga players on the edge of the penalty area. I think it's Rekviashvili. Such contrasts between these two clubs, between these two footballing nations. The attendance for Skonto Riga's last home game, Mr. Bates, on Saturday was about 100, and they're all let in free. And this match is not being shown on Latvian TV tonight because they can't afford to show it. And the word is that when Skonto Riga want a game televised, they have to pay the television company. Not an idea which has caught on in this country yet. Nearly an hour play. Leboeuf in towards Sutton. Rekviashvili is back with us. Furrowed brows. Nobody can find the key to the floodgates.
And we've seen there people that, you know, hardened professionals that have been everywhere in the game. They know what can happen. A lapse at the back, a little bit of brightness from somebody like Rubens, and they might find themselves in a poor position. But here's another opportunity for Chelsea to load some pressure up, although the little man, the main man, Zola, he's down there. Recipient of some sort of bash in the challenger. Yeah, just put him in the car.
So a yellow card, I think, there for Rekviashvili. Worth reminding those of you who've joined us in the last 20 minutes or so that Skonto had a player sent off after 33 minutes of the first half. Been playing with 10 men since then. Now 15 minutes into the second. It's LeBeuf. Almost ran into the path of Zola actually, but Frank LeBeuf just pulled it a bit.
Now that might be a sign of anxiety, because he can really dip them. The size, he's trying to go for the space, the size he's made on the end of the wall, but once again, not a good strike. That's one thing they haven't done, or most a number of things they haven't done. They certainly haven't struck the ball particularly well when they've been in goal-scoring areas.
This is Zola. Well, the goalkeeper was interested spectator there. It was always rising from Zola, but it was hit with immense power.
Yeah, that's one of the best shots, or one of the firmest struck shots all night. He's done that quite well, Chris Sutton. He's let balls fall off his chest, and Zola's bright enough to read the script and pick up all the little second balls.
Those two may be aware that Torre-Andre Flo is now lacing up his boots on the near touchline and seems to be in the final throes of his warm-up. So Deschamps. So again trying to provide that width on the near side, looking to take on Bladerless. Doesn't want to throw in, no more.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a great left foot, Graham Lasson. He's very good coming from the wing-back position and producing, but I just wonder if they had somebody like a natural winger, somebody that could produce something.
LeBeuf. Lost possession. There are four who can break, but I don't think counter-attacking is as much in the minds of Skonto Riga as it was in the first half, although Rubens is running forward with some force and has won himself a free kick.
I think Ferrer's a bit lucky not to go in the book himself on that one. Certainly had made sure Rubens wasn't going past him.
He won't be 21 until November, Rubens, but he's already in the national team. Flo is now stripping off. Free kick driven in towards Astafiev before he has to claim it, and does. He was actually impeded by Mirlaps, who's going to get a yellow card.
Oh, that's a bit unlucky, that. I mean, he's only having a little bit of fun there, Mirlaps. I'm not so sure he deserved to get booked for that. In actual fact, on the free kick, he got himself free as well, Mirlaps. If the ball had carried through, he'd have been looking straight at the Chelsea keeper.
Babayaro is going to come on with Flo, so Chelsea are set to make a double change with almost 20 minutes of the second half played. Lasso. Zola miscontrolling. Deschamps. Ferrer. This is Sutton. Sinagazzi just managed to poke the ball away from him again. It is a corner kick.
Yeah, he's unlucky there, Chris Sutton. Ferrer played him a very nice ball, favouring him, giving him a little bit of space on the outside. Once again, Sinagazzi, who's been his shadow, if you like, stuck with him again.
Wise takes. Header away is by Astafiev, so it's a pretty comfortable one.
You know, I don't think they've done that particularly well, Chelsea. All right, they've had a number of corners. They've got great dead ball kickers.
Gianfranco Zola is going to be replaced by Torre-Andre Flo, who will link up with Chris Sutton for the first time. And the other man to come off is Didier Deschamps, who seems a little surprised, it has to be said. So am I.
So am I. I think if either of the midfield players had to go, it'd probably be Dennis Wise.
But I suppose Deschamps has never scored a goal in all his years in the European game, is just being sacrificed because Chelsea are looking anywhere and everywhere for a goal now. And here's Andre Flo, who scored one within 5 minutes of coming on against Sunderland on Saturday, and has that kind of Midas touch for the bench. Got 20 minutes against Sunderland, a little more tonight. Babayara came on for Poyet for the last 12 minutes on Saturday. Isaacs. All the block is lost out, and this is Astafjevs. Desai managed to recover just as well.
That's a brilliant recovery tackle, because he left it to the one man who you thought might make it pay there. That's Astafjevs.
We're nearing the midpoint in the second half of this first leg match here at Stamford Bridge. Still Chelsea 0, Skonto Riga 0. So Petrescu. Now Wise. Just to keep you abreast of the latest scores in the Premiership this evening. At Old Trafford, Manchester United have now extended their lead over Sheffield Wednesday. Manchester United 3, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Scholes, York, and now Cole, the goal scorers. And at the Dell, Leeds United are having a field day, and Michael Bridges has got a hat-trick for them. Southampton 0, Leeds United 3, on the day that Leeds have played Coventry City for £5 million for Darren Huckabee. Still Leicester 1, Coventry 0. Aston Villa 2, Everton 0. Wise. Hung towards Sutton. He's won that well enough. Zemlinski's managed to hook it away. So to Babayara. Berth. Ferret. Wise. Poyet is now just in a central position behind the front two full time. Leboeuf lifted in towards Andre Flo. Also Desai just receiving some treatment for a neck problem. Rubins. Taking on Ferrer, getting in a shot, which De Hoy had covered. What are your thoughts on the two Chelsea substitutions, Ron?
Well, I'm just looking at I think Zola must be suffering a little bit. You mentioned it earlier in the first half that he appeared to be limping a little bit. I think he must be suffering. He has got the ability, even in any sort of a game, to unlock something. I know he's 34, had a hard game Saturday, and I just wonder whether he's going to play it on the right-hand side of midfield, on the right-hand side of the attack, because there hasn't been a lot forthcoming from Petrescu today from that side. All right, this lad on the ball's unpredictable, as you say. He's made things happen in the past. He might make them happen again tonight.
Petrescu. In towards Sutton, who got up in front of Poyet. Babayara trying to keep it in. The ball is out of play. It is a goal kick.
Yeah, Babayara was just simply and purely coming out to play on the left-hand side to see if he can do a little bit more than Graham Lasso did in terms of engaging the defenders and maybe taking them on. What they've done in actual fact, because they've gone back into more or less a flat back four, they've actually, Chelsea have surrendered surrendered the advantage of the extra man.
Skonto Riga now played the best part of an hour here, or sorry, the best part of 45 minutes with 10 men since Tercera, the left back, was sent off the field.
What must be more disconcerting for Vialli and Ray Wilkins is the fact that maybe in this half, certainly yet, Chelsea haven't really had too many threats, have they? A lot of possession, A lot of balls gone into the box, but there's been a lot of Riga defenders in there. Anything that's gone in and the Chelsea have won, Zemlinski's usually mopped up, picked the second ball up. So at the moment, Riga is Skonto looking very, very comfortable.
Albert to Lasso. Crossed it towards Sutton. It was Poyet who arrived late on the scene and just couldn't direct the header in the way he wanted. Maybe got a very late sight of it because of Sutton's presence.
Yeah, I got a feeling it may have just been a little bit behind him. It's tossed in. Sutton's leaves it. It's just a little bit behind him.
May have hit his shoulder, actually.
Yeah, that to me is not so good a chance as the one he had after about 5 minutes play. But it's good to see him arriving there. He's often been in there standing. He's at his best when he arrives in there on the end of a run.
Mielaps. Babayaro was holding back Bladelis and has conceded a free kick. Offside against Mielaps. To Poyet. Zemlinski's heads away. This is Ferrer. Poyet winning it back. Here's Dennis Wise. Anything happening to his left. Leboeuf has Lasso outside of him. This is Graham Lasso. Tried to play it in low and it bounced off Lysan's and bounced comfortably into the arms of Kolinko, who really distinguished himself in the first half, but has had a pretty quiet second half, certainly comparatively. Wise looking for something cut out by Lagona Desdins. Stafievs. Lysans. Well, the latest score from the Premiership this evening at Villa Park. It's now Aston Villa 3, Everton 0. Ian Taylor has scored the third Aston Villa goal against 10-man Everton. Lasso with a cross. Oh, here's a chance of flow, and the goalkeeper somehow responded. Rekviashvili hooked it up in the air. Flows there again, bounces away from Poyet, snapped back in by Ferrer. It's a goal kick. He's ridden his luck a bit tonight, the goalkeeper, but he's made a little bit of it for himself. Yeah, I mean, this is an inviting cross. Good curling ball in from Lasso. He's not on the run, but he's got a quite well flow, and the keeper's just made an instinctive jab at it. And like a number of other things, the ball has fallen to a defender, or a defender's anticipated and reacted quickly. I don't think his positioning was from the Bob Wilson book of coaching, but his reactions, I think.
I do.
I like that one,
straight from the Bob Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Lasso. This is Babayaro. Lasso to Petrescu. Now Sutton. Petrescu, he's found a way through, it's down Petrescu, and the goalkeeper saves again. Poyet still. Ferrer to cross it in. Sutton beyond the far post, keeper claws it away, corner kick. Remember the name, Alexander Kolinko.
I mean, this is, from there on in, I thought he's just going to nick over him, a brave goalkeeping. And what struck me, let's see this through at the moment, Clive, let's see the attack through. Gone out of play. What struck me on that, you know, as the goalkeeper Kolinko was going out, 3 defenders flooded behind him, got on the line, so there'd still be plenty of work for Petrescu to do if he'd beaten the keeper.
Flow. It's Babayaro! At long last. Head over heels joy for Celestine Babayaro and the Chelsea fans. Kolinko is beaten last, and after 75 minutes of frustration, Chelsea take the lead.
Well, they've done that a few times. They've threaded it in mainly to Sutton's chest. This time it's Flow. Wise plays it in. He checks it back out, and a smashing strike from Babayaro. Perhaps that's, you said, what are the subs on for? That's what they're on for.
Well, I don't think they sent him on and said score with your right foot, but...
No, but it needed something a bit different to beat the keeper.
Very little emotion shown by Gianluca Vialli, who has now just replaced Dan Petrescu with Jana Gulbek, but Celestine Babayaro, who scored here in the quarter-final against Vålerenga last March, has come from the bench and provided the breakthrough for Chelsea. And can they go on from here now and do what we predicted they might do very early in the match, get one and get a few? Lasso. Flow. This is Wise. And now Poyet. 2-0. The breakthrough made all the difference. Gustavo Poyet, was there a deflection here?
I mean, he cuts in, he's got plenty of time to get the shot. I don't think he was. Fine finish. Clive, there's been a terrible incident in the middle of the field. When this goal goes in, Dennis Wise starts mocking one of the players. All of a sudden, it's all gone up, and, you know, it's that complete lack of discipline. Totally unnecessary. Super finish. 2-0, 2 in a minute. Let's get back on with the game. Now all of a sudden...
Well, there were some unseemly moments after the celebrations. There was a cracking goal from Poyet, his third now in 2 games this season. There's going to be a change in the Skonto Riga lineup, but Chelsea have got to keep their heads here now. And I think Dennis Wise is being told by all and sundry just that.
Yeah, they pulled him out of that. I mean, you cannot understand it. Dennis Wise, captain of the side, you know, responsibility, could have got himself well sent off.
The substitute is number 15, Zurabs Menteshashvili, teenage Georgian who's on the ball here now, and he's good on the ball. But Chelsea have got pretty much where they want to be in this match now, 2 up, and they have Skonto where they want them. Here is Menteshashvili. He's replaced Mielats. Jana Gulbek, cut up by Lizans. Leidelis. Menteshashvili. This is Rubins. Well, Dennis Wise on the ball here. His disciplinary problems last season well chronicled. In particular at this moment, Chelsea don't need any more of them. Poyet. Babayaro. Flow. Strong challenge by Lizans, and a good one too. Free kick has been given. The Skonto Riga coach is getting a little hot under the collar there. Alexander Starkov's in the jacket and tie, complaining to the UEFA official. Here's Leboeuf. Babayaro. Now Poyet. So. Tercera to Wise. Leboeuf. Back. Here, corner kick. 10 more minutes for Chelsea to really make the most of the situation that's been set up by those 2 goals in 2 minutes from Babayaro and Poyet.
Yeah, one more goal, you can virtually say that's game, set and tie, if you like. But I would still stress, and I'm sure that Lucas stressing, the defenders concentrate now.
Wise. In towards Flow. Tackled by Lizans. Babayaro, whose breakthrough goal was so important.
Ironic, isn't it? We're talking about that the shooting hadn't been particularly good, lacking power, lacking some fire aggression, and yet there's nothing wrong with the two shots that went in.
Both have scored with the wrong foot. Go back.
That's an inviting cross.
Towards Chris Sutton.
No.
He'd love to round the evening off with his first for Chelsea.
I think he should have been attacking the ball in front. There's something else, a little bit of pushing and needling going on with Sutton. I think that particular occasion when Goldberg crossed it, I think Sutton should have been racing across the defender there. I think he'd have got a strike at goal.
He needs one for a ton of goals in club football. Chris Sutton.
He needs one as well to lift the burden, the pressure if there is there, and just to enable him to settle down.
There's been an undercurrent to the game. Certainly the Skonto player who was sent off has been claiming that he was elbowed by Frank Leboeuf and reacted to that by kicking Leboeuf, who went down. After 33 minutes of the first half, Skonto have been playing with 10 men since then, and it wasn't until the 76th minute that Babayaro, the substitute, made the breakthrough, followed so quickly by Poyet's blinding left-footed shot. Goldback in towards Flo, hit the post. It's come out of Poyet. Goldback. Now Ferrer. So trying to keep the move alive. He's held off Lederlis. Got his shirt in doing so. Leboeuf. In towards Poyet again.
Yeah, I've just seen another glorious cross from the right-hand side. Here it is coming in now from Goldback. And Flo leaps brilliantly. This is 3-0 as far as he's concerned. But unfortunately, comes off the outside of the post. But Goldback's put one or two searching, telling crosses in since he's come out in that flank. He's hit good areas with the ball.
Chelsea's general dominance now reflected on the score sheet. They lead by 2-0. So in towards Sutton, who seemed to be held there by Senegalsi, will come out for Goldback. Back in towards Sutton again. He's done it. Chris Sutton's first goal for Chelsea is the 100th goal of his club career.
That's lovely, isn't it? The players all know there's the ball whipped in. Goldback does well to just cut it back into his path, and it's that wrestling match again. When he did that, I thought we were going to see a replay of the save in the first half. I thought Kalinko was going to make that save. He swivelly hits, and you saw the relief by the way the players knew the burden on his shoulders. That's been lifted.
Goalkeeper got a hand to it, couldn't keep it out. I bet Gianluca Vialli will react to this one, yes.
He also knows that, barring absolute miracles now, that's them into the Champions League.
He spent a little bit of time with Sutton on the training ground yesterday after everybody else had finished Vialli, and clearly it's going to be a learning experience for Sutton, even though he is an England international, even though he has played in Europe with Norwich and Blackburn in the past. But he's maybe moved up a gear now in his career.
I'll tell you what he will do if he's got somebody like Vialli teaching him. He'll learn about great movement, because Vialli's certainly, I think, the best mover I've ever seen as a centre forward.
Vialli's first ever British bye has made it 3-0 now to Chelsea. The sort of scoreline we might have anticipated tonight. But wait, Stafiev slips.
Well, look at that, because it's a cleverly worked free kick.
Goldback. Chelsea have stuck at it tonight, defending a very proud, unbeaten home record in European football. They will go to what is the national stadium in Riga in a fortnight's time, the Daugava Stadium. Stadium of just 5,600 capacity, a rather modest ground surrounded by a running track with a railway track running down the far side, which seems to make more noise than the fans, with a healthy lead. Some final scores from the Premiership this evening at Villa Park. Aston Villa 3, Everton 0. Joachim, Dublin and Taylor, the Villa goal scorers. Leicester City 1, Coventry City 0, and Muzzy is it penalty has decided that. And at the Dell, Southampton 0, Leeds 3, a hat-trick from Michael Bridges for Leeds United. Manchester United still playing against Sheffield Wednesday at Old Trafford, but leading with goals from Scholes, York and Cole, 3-0. 3-0 now is the Chelsea lead. Goals from Babayaro, Poyet and Sutton. Leboeuf, Lasso, Babayaro, Lasso, turned up towards goalback, and have another corner.
You have to feel a certain sympathy, don't you, for Skonto? You know, the body language now says they know what the actual thing is, that they're barring miracles, they're playing just for damage limitation.
Dennis Wise, put away by Astafievs. Chance for Rubins to break. Bird coming across. Ferrer there for insurance. The Champions League proper, complete with Barcelona and Milan and Bayern Munich, and Manchester United and Arsenal, starts on September the 14th. It comes thick and fast on ITV, beginning with 3 weeks in a row of Tuesday night highlights, live Wednesday evening games. There are 2 separate group stages to negotiate en route to the quarters and semis this time. Manchester United played 13 games in the competition last season. To win from here this time, Chelsea would have to play 90. They've taken 3 big steps in the right direction with 3 goals from Babayaro, Poyet and Sutton in an 8-minute period late in the game, which have put them in a great position to travel out to the Baltic in a fortnight's time.
With a massive contribution from all the subs.
Good company playing tonight. Other teams trying to qualify for the league. Borussia Dortmund and Dynamo Kiev, Real Mallorca, PSV Eindhoven all playing tonight. Float. Call on the edge of the penalty area by Zemlinskis. It was just on the edge. Body check just outside the box. Who looked unbeatable for so long, beaten 3 times now. Wise takes. Kolenko knocked it down. Not sure it did go between Poyet's legs.
He really didn't know much about that. The ball's whipped in. There's a hell of a lot of movement in front of him from the big fellas from Chelsea, and fortunately for him, he's managed to parry it out for a corner somehow. But he deserves luck. He's had 3 or 4 moments of luck, but he's been brave as anything to keep it.
Rubin's in pursuit here. Let's say to his goalkeeper, who's been a spectator for much of the night. So Sutton trying to feed flow. Zemlinskis just got to it. The referee has blown the whistle. Oh, and a yellow card for Sutton, which he could have done without. I mean, there are enough ways to pick up cards in the course of a European competition without having a blasted goal after the whistle's gone. stick with him certainly through the first phase of the league, and Chelsea reach 3 yellow cards needed to pick up a suspension in this season's Champions League.
Yeah, but you don't get booked when you're 3-0 up, do you? Not needlessly.
Stoppage time, the end of what has been a good night for Chelsea in the end. Good night for Sutton too, but just a little undercurrent of indiscipline at times during the evening, both in some of their defending and some of their behaviour, but their general supremacy is now being properly reflected in the overall score. Treska's played in a European Cup final, and Ferrer's played in a couple, and Desai's played in 3, and Deschamps in 4. They're carrying forward into the later stages a squad with plenty of experience, Rob.
Very much so. I mean, that's what surprised me a little bit, whether it's because the expectancy was on them so much tonight, but they did look to be more anxious than I thought, particularly when things weren't going their way. I think you said a phrase in the first half, they certainly get a bit ragged around the edges, and you know, you wouldn't expect that from some of the players with the wealth of experience they've got.
The difference will be if they do lead the league stage, they'll probably be underdogs in a few of their games. Here they were big favourites tonight. Lasso in towards Babayaro, and it back to his keeper by Juanas Desdins. See him? No, you don't. Poyet. 4 on Saturday. Is there another one still in the locker? Ferrer. This is Flo. Tried to feed Sutton. Certainly drew 3 defenders to him. So far, so good for Chelsea in their European Champions League adventure. They had to wait for their goals tonight. They had to wait 76 minutes for a breakthrough against 10 men for much of that period. But Babayaro, Poyet, and then Chris Sutton scored those goals, and in a fortnight's time they will play in the Latvian capital Riga on the Baltic Sea with plenty of room for manoeuvre, and the Champions League now beckons Chelsea to join Arsenal and Manchester United. It's going to be quite a season. It started here on August the 11th. Chelsea 3, Skonto Riga 0.